Want to check one more time that people on Zoom can hear?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Jane, I see you talking. I can't hear you. Let me calm the crowd. We're about to get started. Zoom, can you hear us? You might not be able to hear us. Can the folks on Zoom hear?
Yes, I can hear.
Yes.
Right, I have them open. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've been having microphone issues on that computer, so I just wanted to make sure. So hi, welcome. This is such a lovely crowd, so this is super exciting. So my name is Della Wilkins. I'm the president of Tennessee Women in Green, and I have such an honor to introduce our speaker for today, Tiffany Wilmot. So she is president of Wilmot, which is a sustainability company here in Nashville. She has so many accolades. I won't read her whole bio. I think many in this room already know her, but she has been named to Nashville's Mayor Sustainability Committee by the last 4 administrations. She also is Vanderbilt University faculty that teach sustainability, financial analysis, environmental justice, etc., and also serves on the board of Cumberland River Compact. And we are also super honored because she is one of the founders of Tennessee Women in Green. And so, Tiffany, without any more ado, really, I'd love to just have you take most of the time here and speak with everybody. So come on up. And I think everybody can see you via that, and then you just click here. But if you want me to click for you, I can.
And how long, what time do I need to stop?
If you got like, you can do like 25 minutes, that'd be
25
great.
minutes, okay.
I have a feeling there'll be lots of questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know I can talk. Well, hi, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me be here. It's here so I can stop myself. And I'm really honored to be here. I haven't been able to speak here for a while, and we have so many awesome speakers. And so I wanted to just start out by saying that I think right now in this time, I'm so glad to hear I think right now being a woman is a lot different this year than it was last year, and a lot of you are probably feeling the same kinds of pressure that I am. And then being a woman in sustainability is even more intense. So it's tough. But we've been through tough times before. And looking around this room, I see a lot of people who have been in this for a long time, and then a lot of new faces who are just getting started. And so the people who, like me, who have been doing this for a long time, we are here to help you. So we wanted to help you. Take our help. And right now, you're here because something in you burns brighter than just the average person, right? You want to do something. You know that there's something better that we can do. And you refuse to accept the world as it is, because clearly we can see that it could be better. 17 years ago, during the Great Recession of 2008, Laurel Creech and I started this organization, and we started it because of the simple truth that we're stronger together. And we also realized that our favorite people were all women in sustainability. So we just started because it was fun. And today, as the political environment has shifted, the truth rings louder than ever that together we're stronger. We need to help each other. To be honest, there's anger and frustration in my heart. And I think that's okay to acknowledge that and feel it.
What's that?
And then move on. But the feelings are real, and we need to use them as fuel, right? So we can take those feelings and feel them, cry if you have to, scream if you must, but then we need to get back to work and roll up our sleeves, right? Because that's what warriors do. And that's what change makers do, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what you do. And that's what I want to see everybody out there doing. So if you feel like I do, and then I want you to think about how in the past, society taught us that women were competitors, right? We competed against each other. Only one of us could get to the top. That is not true anymore. They wanted us to fight over crumbs instead of building beautiful bakeries together. And I think we can get out there and build some great things together. No more. We are not doing that anymore. We're not competing in this room. We don't do that. Where all of us are together, more powerful. So if one of us rises, all of us rise. If one of us falls, I want a dozen hands out there catching her to help her. TWIG's mission is to support women in sustainability, and Dodd and Scott here sitting among us are proof that supporting women isn't about gender, it's about vision, right? We are supporting women in sustainability, but that can be anybody helping us. It's about recognizing that when we protect the earth, we protect ourselves and our children and the children of all the species. So doing sustainability is not only for the earth, it's for all of us. For 31 years, I've been in the trenches of sustainability, and I've seen movements rise and fall, but I've never seen anything quite like what we're going through right now. In times of uncertainty, though, you never know what's going to happen, right? Tomorrow, it could be something crazy, something else crazy will happen tomorrow, but you never know what's going to happen. And in times of uncertainty, we have to just reimagine, rebuild, and revolutionize. Okay. I don't know if we can advance it, Ellie. When people ask me how I got into sustainability, I tell them it wasn't a choice, it was a calling. And looking around the room, I see that calling in your eyes, and I know that's why you're here. It's almost like you just have to do it. And whether you're a real estate broker, thank you, isn't that a pretty tree? Whether you're a real estate broker or I will stake on that tree, a lawyer, a planner, engineer, architect, or somebody who just sees that things can be better than they are right now. You're here because you understand the fundamental truth that if we measure and manage, we can make things better. And there's always a better way. When we started TWIG, we asked every speaker who was coming up to answer 3 questions. So I'm going to actually abide by the rules and answer those questions. And the questions are, how did you get into sustainability? What do you do? And how can TWIG help you? So I'm going to answer those questions. And I was writing this up and I realized that those questions are harder to answer than I thought.
Oh,
But,
what do you do?
the
What?
fun thing about answering
What?
how to get into
Oh, so
sustainability
sweet. Oh, sweet.
is that you learn a lot of cool things about people. Like I remember when Sharon Smith came and spoke and she said, well, I'm from Jamaica, and I never knew that. So you learn a lot about people. So how I got involved in sustainability. My dad was a pilot with the Flying Tigers, as well, I put it up there, the ones with the teeth on them. And he flew in a lot of missions that I don't exactly know what he was doing, but he did fly to South America a lot. And he couldn't use the instruments because they didn't want to be detected. And so they had to fly by sight. And he would come home and say, yeah, I had a really hard time landing because he was flying over the Amazon and the forest was being burned. And so he said, every time I go down there, it looks different. There's football field size tracts of forest just gone, and I don't know where I am. And so it really hit me hard. That was like something that was like impacting my life and my dad. And he said, do you know where we get oxygen? And being a teenager, I was like, trees, stuff. And, well, mostly the Amazon though, we'll cut down all the trees here in North America. And it's most of our oxygen, that's the lungs of our world. And so that was an impactful thing that happened to me when I was young. I'll tell you about it later, but he was a very staunch Republican and a conservationist. So I want to talk about how being on both sides of the aisle is great, and that's what we should be doing. We should be, this is a ethical, moral stance that we're taking, and it has nothing to do with politics. Shouldn't. I then went to work for the Sierra Club, and I was working for an engineering firm in the daytime, and at night I was volunteering at the Sierra Club, and thought, well, can I just do this during the day and get paid for it? And then I can work, 24 hours a day doing sustainability. So then I went and got my MBA, trying to figure out how to help people make money and do the right thing so that they could keep doing it. And I worked for Hazen and Sawyer, and then started Wilmot in 1994. Sally, help. So the next question is, what does Wilmot do? And I'm gonna just, the right one, right? We kind of do that. Here's our mission. I put a long, medium, and short version, and and Ellie and Andy are helping me get this clear. But the long one is that we're a for-profit sustainability consulting firm, and we do lots of things where we help people reduce energy, water, and waste, and try to save money. But the short version is that we just try to love everyone and love all creatures. Here's a better explanation. And we do solar work, we do project management, LEED and green building, construction inspection, waste reduction and recycling. Which is how we got started, economics and triple bottom line, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then just basic sustainability and resiliency consulting. I wanted to talk about 4 projects, and I realized that 3 of the 4 projects were Director Potter's idea, sitting up here. So the first one is the Metro Nashville 100% solar offset. So we did this first for Metro Water, and Mr. Potter asked us to look at all the buildings that they own, which are a lot, 600 buildings that Metro Water owns, to see if we could put solar on them. And we found that we could put 20 megawatts of solar on there. And just to give you context, a megawatt is about 4 acres. So 20 megawatts is a lot. And then it worked so well that we are now doing, or did it next, for the whole city. So we looked at all 1,400 properties that the city owns to figure out, can we put solar on the roof? How do we reach Mayor O'Connell's goal of 100% solar offset for the city? Now that's just for the city. It's not a big percentage of our energy usage, but still it's a good start. And if we could say we were 100% solar and renewable, wouldn't that'd be awesome? And so we found 100 megawatts of solar, and the cool thing about it is it will end up saving $80 million by the time it's all done. And it got put into the budget for the first time this year. So yay, yeah, that's good. That's good. You had Kendra come and speak before, and she said, I was so thankful because this is the first time I got anything into the budget. So it's a big deal. The reason you asked me to come here is actually to talk about the Titans. So I did want to at least mention it. We're working for the Titans. The original Titan Stadium, we worked on just managing the waste back a long time ago. I think Diane was at 97. It was a long time ago. So I've been around long enough that I get to work on it again. And we work for the Titans C-suite, helping them to come up with, they need a policy. They don't have yet the ability to say, we want to do this, but they're trying. And then they are going for LEED gold on the stadium. So we're working with them on that and working with the contractor there. And the main strategy is going for, we would like them to go for zero waste. Because think how easy it would be if all they served was compostable food items, and then there was recycling. Like, unless someone brought something in and no one's bringing in like, you know, a lawnmower or anything, there's not going to be a lot of waste. So we could just have recycling and composting bins there. And, you know, if somebody had a gum wrapper or something, there'd be a little bit of waste, but really nothing to speak of. So that would be almost an easy thing to do for them. We're also working with them to, oh, I'm doing so well on time. We're also working with them to figure out how to reduce the cement in the concrete. So the concrete is about 90% of the building's carbon footprint. So we have found there's great studies being done now that they're starting to find that we can replace the cement with a lot more fly ash and slag than they thought before. And the fly ash is cheaper than cement, and the slag is about the same price but stronger. So when people say sustainability doesn't pay, here we go. It's cheaper. It's gonna be cheaper and stronger, and we're gonna replace about 20% of the cement with slag and fly ash, which will be awesome. So it'll be a 20% reduction in global warming potential. So that's an awesome, great thing that they're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit. The third project is another mature water project. Does anybody know what the how many drinking water plants we have in town? Yes, very good. Two. We have two. One is KR Harrington and one is Omahandra. And we're starting with Omahandra. We're doubling in size, and because of population growth, and also it's going to be better. It's just going to be a better gravity-fed plant. So we're working on that, and thanks to Mr. Potter, we're going to do all LEED. And you have to do LEED gold, right? Because Mayor O'Connell required that when he got his legislation passed when he was in council. But so it's not silver anymore, it's gold, but we're actually going for platinum. So 6 buildings, all platinum. And we're also doing something called Envision. And Envision is like, yeah, do you know what Envision is? Okay. So do you want to say anything?
My understanding, I'm gonna dumb it down a lot, but it's kind of like, instead of having LEED, which is more geared towards buildings, so there's it's kind of more like a sidewalk.
Very good, yes. So I always say LEED is for vertical buildings and Envision is for horizontal things like roads and bridges and highways and water treatment plants. So that will be so there'll be 6 buildings that are LEED, but the whole campus, which is 160 acres, will be Envision Platinum. So we're going for platinum on that. And we're also going to do just all kinds of fun things and try to take it back to the way it was before the immigrants came from Europe in the 1700s. So put the trees back, put everything back the way it was. And we're going to do it well, I won't go to that, but we're going to do an arboretum, and we're going to get it certified with ArbNet 4. And we're going to have school kids come out there and walking trails and make it, you know, really beautiful and a great place for people to be. And it's right on the river. So it's right across from Shelby Bottoms, just figuring out where it is. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I have my back to you. So before I go into the fourth thing, the last project, I wanted to talk a little bit more about how we can work together. And my goal for my clients is to make them look like a rock star, right? So if they look good, then they're going to want to do more and they're going to get accolades, and then their boss is going to see them and they're going to say, like, do more of that. So the more you can help people do well, the better it's going to be. And even if somebody says like, oh, all I do, I'm just doing this for the environment, that's all I care about. If you can help them save money too, they're gonna get to do it more. So, I really want you to, I want to make sure you, hear that. I hesitated to, here, but, I, thanks to Blake, this is up here. So, we want to change the hats to make the earth or make your earth great again. And I don't know, if maybe we should make them white with red letters, I don't know. But I was thinking maybe we can like change it because we want to bring back, we do want to bring things back to the way they were, right? Back to the 1700s. So how do we do that? And how do we work together on that? One way to do it is to measure what you do. So those three projects, the Titans, the solar, and the Omaha water treatment plant are great, but if we can't measure it and show that what we did, then people, it's hard for them to believe you. So one of the other services we offer is called triple bottom line analysis. And does anybody want to say that? Okay, go Greg.
So I'll be very because we're working on one of these right now. So the triple bottom line analysis is basically looking at a project and from the three pillars, people, planet, and profit, and making sure that you include all of those pillars within each other. So you're looking at the value of people and planet when you actually calculate what the profit will be.
Yes, exactly. So that I could not have said it better. So when normally you use gap principles, right? Like general accounting principles, and you say, we spent $10 and we got $1 back. That's fine, but that doesn't include the benefit to society and the benefits to the environment, which are also included in there, right? So if somebody is pouring lacquer into the river because they're a lacquer plant and they're just dumping it in the river and they're making money on that, but then people are getting sick down the river, they're paying for it, right? They're going to the hospital because they're sick. So somebody's paying for it. It just, that externality got moved out of the lacquer company and put onto the person who drank the water or ate fish or whatever. So, and then the fish was sick too. So looking at all three legs of the stool, like Kat said, is really important. And it can help your analysis to figure out which project to do, what alternative for the project to do. So in England, there's something called the Green Book, and I think it's just because it's colored green. I don't think it's green, completely green. But they do an analysis of every project before they do the project, and they rank them and figure out which one is the best. So I thought I'd just show you one example. This is from the biosolids plant. In 2008, the city decided, the water department decided to spend $136 million, which is a lot of money, on a project. And what we do, we take who knows what biosolids are? What are they? Yeah, you can both say it. No. Yeah.
Biosolids are essentially the solids that come through our wastewater.
Yes, yeah, it's sewage sludge.
Anything down your toilet.
Mhm, yeah, yeah. So biosolids is yeah. But we have a biosolids plant. This is our wastewater plant. We have 3 wastewater plants. That's where our wastewater goes. And in the past, we would take it and dry it. It would be mostly dry, and then we would truck it to different places to land apply it. So it smelled terrible in Germantown. It was, I don't know if any of you lived here before 2008, but it was a difficult place to go. Downtown smelled. They would have to stop on Thursday processing sludge so that the Titans could have a game on Sunday. It was not good. And so the director decided, hey, we need to fix this. Let's pick one of these alternatives, and they didn't pick the cheapest alternative, but they picked a really good alternative to take it and turn it into fertilizer. So, we spent 136 million and we get, see this, 4 million in pellet sales. So you can buy fertilizer, which is pretty cool. And use it, and it's very safe. So if you just looked at that from the economic side, we spent 136 and we get 4 back. It wouldn't be a great thing. However, if you look at all the other things that happened, like the value of the property went up by $96 million. We removed trucks from the road, so we were driving all those trucks across the state, and there were enough trucks to stretch all the way across the state in a year. And we didn't even count the liability of those trucks of what had happened if one of them tipped over. There's eutrophication, better fertilizer instead of using, a chemical fertilizer. And so all these things, there's like enough digester gas now to run 24,000 households. So if you add up all that stuff and then the benefits like to the humans, right? The people who live in that area, we talked to one guy who said he would wash his clothes and hang it in the closet, and 3 days later it would smell like sewage. And he's like, how am I supposed to keep a job? I can't, it was really hard to live there. Now, of course, I couldn't buy a house there. So, but if you add all those benefits up, now the net benefits for every dollar we spend, we get more than $3 back when you count it all the way through. Just to tell you, we've done over 30 years of over 1,000 projects and worked with more than 200 clients. So a lot of people we've gotten to touch. Most of them are repeat clients, and we're not great with with our marketing. So that's something that you need to get better at. And Ellie and Annie are over here, and they're helping us with that a lot. So. And luckily I talk with Anne a lot too, and she has lots of good ideas for how to help my business. The last question that I need to answer today is, how can you all help me? And I'll say that there are 5 things, and the first and last are probably the most important. Stay positive. What we talked about earlier, you've got to keep pushing forward. Please don't give up. And if you're feeling like you need help, come here. Call somebody, call me. I would love to help. We just cannot give up, because this is the time when this is the time that's the most important. Ground yourself in facts, read the legislation. Don't let your emotions get all wild with people telling you what to think about some document. Go read it yourself. And a lot of times the documents are not that long or hard. It's like, go do it. Act locally. Join groups like this one if you care about the environment, women's issues, immigration, whatever it is, democracy. Just join something and find like-minded people to help build you up. And we would love you to be here more. So anything you can do, that'll help. It helps you more than whenever I go volunteer with Cumberland River Compact. I get much more out of it than the thing I'm doing. Make it personal. I want to show you something. One of our clients is the Elephant Sanctuary, and I went there yesterday, and I bought a T-shirt, and this being specific is super important. And I bought this awesome T-shirt, and it has flora on it. So they have, I think, 12 elephants. Every color shirt has a different elephant. And so they made it really specific. And so I got this shirt and I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then they gave me a little document to read, and it had all the elephants in it. I immediately turned to Flora's page. Like, I was like, oh, let me read about my elephant. It made it really personal to me, because I have a Flora shirt. And Dave, who went with me, who of course got a brown T-shirt with like a boy elephant on it. But he immediately went and we did the same thing. He went and read about his elephant. So figure out how to make it personal. Like when you say, I'm gonna cut down, like they're cutting down 100 trees. We're like, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, right? But it's not personal. But if somebody came to your house and cut down your maple tree in the front yard with an axe, you would be pretty mad. You'd be out there yelling at them, right? So make it personal, figure out how to do it. Figure out if you're gonna plant a tree, put someone's name on it. If you're gonna, whatever it is, make it personal. So we have the new director of the waste department here today, and Tracy Thurman, and she's really good at that. Just in the few times I've talked with her, she makes everything she can, she figures out a way to make it personal and make people understand that, this is important to them, that every person who picks up your trash or picks up your recycling, they're important, and how do you make them feel that what they're doing is important. All right, and then the last thing, I've been harping on it a lot, but just tell people how it makes money. Okay, sustainability saves money, but it also makes money. The carbon, the solar, everything that we've talked about today, it is a great way to make money. So start speaking about that message. And I'll just, in conclusion, I just want to say that power of collective action is super important. And everybody in this room has a unique gift to offer. You're not just creative, you're visionaries. You're not just insightful, you're open to lots of possibilities, and you're not just kind, you're healers of a wounded world. So I think sustainability thrives because of the collective action. There's no one leader for sustainability, right? We're all just working like that web, all connected. And together we can make things better. And we're going to make things better, and not just better, but extraordinary. So not through division, or competition, but through the radical act of lifting each other up and celebrating each other's victories and turning our collective dreams into reality. So go out there and let's go.
So when your friends approach you, they generally have an idea of, I want to go be platinum, or just what I want to do, or if that you direct them to a certain path. And how much convincing do you have to do this plan?
So the question is, do we lead the client and say, hi, you need to do X, or does the client come to us and say, we want to do X, and how do we do it? And it's both. So it depends on the client. So some clients come to us and they say, we want to do LEED Platinum, you figure it out, let's go. And then, but most clients will say, like the elephant sanctuary, they said, hey, we think we're doing a good job. Could you do a greenhouse gas inventory? And then tell us what our next steps would be. And so we did the greenhouse gas inventory, and then we said, hey, here are the things you could do. And by the way, they were already at 90% waste diversion. So they're doing really well. But we did say, like, here's your plan. Here's your state, when do the lights burn out? We're gonna switch you over to different lighting, different HVAC, look at all their tractors and their equipment, and how can we capture methane off the dung and use that to power the motors. So there are things they could do, but we didn't know until we looked at them. Good question. Yes.
What were some of the biggest barriers to starting your own company?
Oh, sorry. What were some of the barriers to starting your own company? Well, I had no money, so I worked another job and started it at the same time. The first job I ever had was actually to write the solid waste plan for Nashville. And I was just on the team. I wasn't the whole, I was a part of the team. I can tell this because Tracy is not like this at all, but the solid waste director, when I was supposed to write the recycling portion of the solid waste plan, And he came and said, this is what I want you to write. And I said, well, don't you want me to figure out what to write? And he said, no, this is what you're gonna write. And I ended up quitting that job. So my now ex-husband said, you have no work and you just quit your only consulting job. So what I did was I started writing articles for Waste Age Magazine and Resource Recycling. And I went to Saturn, that was in Spring Hill back then, the GM, and I went and did an article about them. And 'cause they were doing a lot of good recycling. And while I was there, I said, well, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And what are you doing with your plastics? And why don't you send that to United Plastics up in Chicago? What about composting? And I was like, hey, you know your stuff. I want to hire you, but I don't have any money. And I was like, yeah, right. But 6 months later, he called and said, I put you in the budget. And we ended up doing like 19 projects for Saturn over 3 years. So it was hard at first. And but I just kept volunteering, and which I always recommend to people, because you meet lots of fun people and you meet them while you're planting flowers at Ronald McDonald House, right? You're not just trying to sell them something, so you can get to be friends with them. And then meeting people helps too.
First of all, thanks for being part of starting TWIG. I think it's apparent from today that like how the leadership make a huge impact. So just thinking about all of the businesses developed over the years. And I was curious, are there some local businesses here in Nashville that are making a big impact?
That's a great idea. And that was one of my things, I was gonna say buy less stuff, but when you do buy it from good places, go refill your shampoo bottles. That's a great question, and I would actually open that up to people here and tell me like where you like to shop or go. I like to go to Turnip Truck a lot, and I go to lots of farmers markets. I try to support CSAs. But is there anything else that any other ideas?
I went to yesterday actually the first time. It's alternative green creative reuse. You have events, a lot of people know about it. It's like pay what you want, and it's a lot of like art supplies and a lot of literally anything you could imagine. So.
I'd like to also say that a lot of our speakers have been from businesses that they started, like the Goodwill, and also Tim Bonds actually products, and we also had so they can scroll through.
That's a great idea.
Anybody is hungry meal restaurant, there's a lot with composting every day.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you're hungry.
Yeah, I don't know, books, podcasts, movies that made a big impact on your trajectory, or that you're like, you have to read this.
I do. I do, and when people come and ask me questions or ask me for career guidance, I always give them 2 books to read, and then if they read them, then I talk to them. So that's really that's the game. So I love a book called Ishmael. It's an old book. It's by Daniel Quinn, and you have to suspend disbelief. It's about a gorilla that has ESP, but it's awesome. And it kind of opens up your mind. And I love Paul Hawkins' Ecology of Commerce, which talks about, I'm pointing at God because one time I was supposed to go pick Paul Hawkins up at the airport, and I was so excited. And I had a Prius. This was in like 2011. I think I was one of the few people, which is the only reason God picked me. But then he canceled it because he said, you were so excited about talking to him that you're going to crash. So I got Monday. But Paul Hawkins, Ecology of Commerce, I love that. I love the but I'm trying to think of the Susan Simard book. you have the mother tree, and then the book that's,
Bringing two parents and also
Raised
finding the mother tree.
Finding the Mother Tree. But I'm thinking of the book that came out before that, it's about a lady for that.
Service berry.
It's about, it's about, people being so mad about climate change and that they start killing people. Like murdering like the Exxon president and bombing. That story, yes. Good job, yes.
That was based on. I don't think so.
And Susan Smart, yeah, she's like willing through it. Yeah.
Going off of that thought, we have a club.
Yes.
Email. We got our.
Excellent.
And as to you mentioned returning the property to pre-colonial times. And I do know if you're aware, I'm sure you are, that, the Southeast Grant Planning Institute does a lot of that, so they might be a good partner if you're not already partnering with them.
That's fantastic, yes. And that was interesting, at the elephant sanctuary, they said the elephants take down all the trees, and they're planting, they take like 4 trees down a day. So they're planting all these trees, but they said the savannah, having the savannah is awesome, and not only do they have turkeys, but they have bobwhites, and they're everywhere, and so they know that they're bringing the grasslands back, and it's bringing back to what it was before. So maybe we just need to bring elephants in.
It's very interesting, the Titan Stadium, there's the original one, the new one, the old one, they're gonna take down, and that is a massive thing. Where's that all gonna go? I've heard of that. And then the new one, I never heard that there's a way to make concrete that's better, never heard of it. Are they doing that?
Yes, okay, so I'll start with that. So the question is, what are the Titans doing? The concrete, they are doing the concrete. And so is the Omaha water treatment plant. So we're moving, and that's new. I mean, it's not that new, but it's new for us in Tennessee. And so we have to keep the stadium operating until the new one's up. So unfortunately, we can't tear it down and use that rubble to backfill the new walls of the stadium. So we're gonna keep that going. And by the way, Michelle is working on these projects with us too. I meant to say that earlier. Okay. So what they're gonna do is keep the old stadium, build a new one, then it would take that material and we're gonna stockpile it and use it on as many other things as possible. So for instance, if the Omaha water treatment plant needs 57 stone, we could take it, crush it, and bring it there. But in the interim, we're gonna take it to Lincoln, out in Lebanon, Rockwood Recycling, and he's gonna come and crush it and make gravel so that we can, and he can either sell it or give it away or whatever. But it is gonna be reused.
Very good.
Thank you. We're out of time.
They're in the mail. My name is Sarah Ashley. I'm thrilled to be vice president of TWIG this year. Happy to serve, and I have a few announcements for you today. We are, obviously, that's why you're here at Tennessee Women in Green. We empower, inspire, and connect women who are committed to environmental sustainability. If you are here today, we hope that you feel welcome and included in our program. And it looks like we're probably gonna have to get in space soon, which is great. And then we have all of our great sponsors are up here. We see many of our sponsors in the room today, and we appreciate you. Thank you. If you are interested in being a sponsor, board members, raise your hand. There's a lot of us here today. If you're interested in being a sponsor, come find one of us. We will direct you to the person that is in charge of our sponsorships this year. Obviously, Wilmot is up there. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our new and renewing members. You can read these names. Speaking of which, you can actually become, you can actually become a member if you're not already a member. And if you're curious about being a member, that helps put on programs like this every month for you. And it's very affordable. We have a sliding scale. We're not going to turn you away if you want to be a member. Come join us, please. We have a seed fund. This is also what our membership goes to. We want to support women seeking to expand their skills or knowledge in sustainability. We always have a rolling application. Please apply so we can help you out there. If you are a Kroger shopper, that's cool. You can designate TWIG to benefit with your Kroger shoppers card. That doesn't automatically renew every year, so really think about that if you go Krogering. Upcoming TWIG program next month. It's also March 7th. Candy Upchurch of Tennessee Healthy Habitats will come. She's a biodiversity expert, specifically biodiversity in Tennessee, so you don't want to miss this program. Just 4 weeks away. Upcoming events, we have, so there are invasive plant removal volunteer events every Saturday, sponsored by Two Rivers Regional Park. If you have upcoming events, let one of us know, email us, we'd be happy to put this in the slide. So little plug to share your upcoming events with us. And then lastly, if you were on Instagram, please consider following us. We were hacked over a year ago. We used to have about 2,000 followers. Now we're much less than that. So if you could follow us, this is where a lot of updates and information is found on Instagram. And then thank you again very much for coming today. We hope to see you next month.